Hi folks, this is your NWIS planning outlook with the latest long range details. Looking at the short range details first, here is Wednesday's chart, and we've got a cold front clearing away southeastwards, taking the last of the heat and the humidity away from southeast England, so a fresher feel for all. There will be a few showers in the forecast, some locally heavy bursts of rain across more eastern northeastern parts early in the day. That will pull away toward the North Sea coast, but as we head onwards into the afternoon, some local heavy showers brewing up again, and areas around the Cairngorms toward the eastern side of the Highlands, possibly the borders as well, has the risk of some local slow-moving heavy, possibly even thundery showers just forming. Further west, generally well scattered showers and some good sunny spells. Feeling quite cool compared to many recent times, but some sunshine and light winds for many. That westerly breeze, if anything, just freshening a bit through the afternoon. Some fronts over the Atlantic starting to make their appearance, and those will dominate on a southwesterly flow heading through the rest of this week. Taking that story on into Thursday, high pressure is toward the south, low pressure toward the northwest, fronts coming in off the Atlantic, and some frequent or more persistent rain moving in across western Scotland, setting in for periods over western mountains in particular. Some pulses of rain extending eastwards, some showery bursts mixed in times as well, extending east through the daytime. Brisk southwesterly winds as well across the hills and mountains, touching gale force at times over higher tops. Those will strengthen too for North England, and some rain and some showers starts to push further into Cumbria, onto the Pennines eventually through the later afternoon. Some more frequent or persistent rain also into the Lake District later in the day. For the South Pennines and for Wales, Thursday looks to be a dry day here with lighter winds compared to further north. Those southwesterlies will strengthen yet further for all onwards into Friday though, and gales or severe gales across the higher mountains are to be expected through Friday, and a train of frontal systems coming in from the Atlantic, giving some heavy, prolonged falls of rain across most of western Scotland. So a very difficult day in prospect for Friday. Unpleasant conditions across western areas in particular. Some rain extending eastwards, smaller amounts further east across the Highlands, but rain from time to time in that forecast, and extending further into northern England too, again through the afternoon. Those strong gale force winds extending all the way to North Wales as well. Heading onwards into the weekend, low pressure toward the north is still in charge. A rather unsettled story is to be expected. A frontal system pushing south and tending to weaken, but still giving some areas of rain, fairly frequent or persistent across England and Wales to start Saturday morning. Areas of rain and showers too across Scotland. All in all, it looks a rather unsettled picture. The wind not quite as strong, but still blustery and relatively cool across the hills and mountains. And some rain or some heavy showers very much in the forecast. A few spots across the Highlands could just get away with a few hours of drier weather, but the detail there is more uncertain by this stage. For England and Wales, the rain looks more frequent, heavier and persistent. Some of the heavier showers over the weekend could well have an odd rumble of thunder in the mix as well. Although some uncertainty, Sunday's chart sees low pressure pulling away a little bit further eastwards, a cool west to northwesterly flow in charge, a showery day broadly, still a risk of some more frequent bursts of rain at times. The risk of thunder perhaps greater over England and Wales by this stage. Temperatures over the mountains rather cool on the high tops in Scotland, 5 Celsius or below, and feeling colder than that, we're exposed to the still strong to possibly gale force winds. Not really what we want for the first weekend of July, but do we have anything better to look at in the longer range? Well, early next week continues in a rather similar vein at first, with cool northwesterlies bringing showers on Monday. Higher pressure is out over the Atlantic to the west of us, and that's trying to build in with time next week. A few days of rather cool conditions then, with that northwesterly flow across the country. Still some showers most likely around on Tuesday, but fewer of them as pressure just begins to build. And it does look to be an improving story into midweek. The question we've got really is just how extensive this ridge of higher pressure is going to be. Some indications just see that collapsing a bit further southwards, and that would allow still more of a mixed west-southwesterly regime to come into northern Scotland at least. Western mountains perhaps more prone to cloud and some rain or some drizzle coming in at times through the middle and later part of next week. Further south and east, generally better, drier, warmer, with some sunshine. All in all, looking to be a drier story for many as the week goes on, but Western Scotland might just still struggle at times. The pressure patterns further forwards look like this. This is the middle of July, the 7 days up until 21st, and the orange colours expand across the map and show the presence of higher than average pressure, which would give drier and warmer conditions more widely by this stage. The jet stream and southwesterly winds would be steered further toward the north of us. There's the potential for little areas of low pressure further away south of Britain, the dips in the lines shown here giving the indication of just some lower pressure in those parts. It could just give more of an east or a southeasterly wind pattern over southern Britain at least. That could draw in some warmer air from the continent once more. The potential locally for some thundery bursts of rain, but many would be often dry in that sort of setup. And high pressure shows itself as being on the scene again further through the rest of the month. So drier than average conditions would well prevail in the extended forecast. So some unsettled weather in the short term, but deeper into July could well be looking very summery once again, just with those occasional thunderstorms to watch out for at times. Planning for this weekend, though, will involve some waterproofs. Do keep an eye on the details on our website. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.